that's good. That's good. Good thing that things are out I know it's pretty profile. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have no idea. That's kind of. Well, I do know anybody.
And I laughed because right away they ran to him to take pictures and he put his sunglasses back on. He's like, no. So that's an interesting reaction. So how is that, what's the basis behind that? I type of work? Is just better to not be in the public eye?
I think the people that are
And so now I'm going to move that way because we're going to be
Getting out of beverage to qualify.
So some Richardson Democrats. Richardson area Democrats.
You know, like I say something, you say something. It helps. I don't know. I mean, you always hear these people going, you know, I'll say this and you say this. That's why, because it does help when you're up here. So, thank you so much for coming tonight. It is cold outside, and I appreciate y'all getting out in the frigid weather. I went back and forth on whether we should do a Zoom meeting instead in person, and I thought, man, people the Hollywood Squares, and I know that's a little old for some of you here. We have young people here tonight, y'all.
Thank you for noticing.
Well, we have got a big lineup tonight, and so I'm going to jump right in. I have to get back up to the top of my notes. We're live streaming tonight, so you might be right in front of the camera. Oh, it's up there. Oh, thank you for that. So now I know where to look when I'm looking into the camera, into the eyes of our studio audience. So there is something very ugly happening in this country right now. Something very beautiful happening in this country. And I think that what we see here tonight right?
Yes.
There are a lot of people here that I either have never met before, have never seen in forever, that are here for the first time in a long time. And it makes my heart feel stronger and better to see new faces and people that I have said, sure hope you'll be able to make it for a while. So, the current administration's plan to overwhelm us with executive orders, firings, dismantling government agencies, and destroying alliances across the continent and the globe is in full force. Bannon called it muzzle velocity. The outrages come from the media, social media, and from citizens affected by it all. It's easy to give in to despair. But the fact that you're here tonight means that you're not giving in to that despair. So thank you for coming out, for your own sake, as well as for ours. I have found that the antidote to despair is action. And it does help to be in community too. So earlier this week, speaking of action, we saw people protesting across the country on condemning this administration's actions on President's Day with a message that neither Trump nor Elon are our president. This kind of nonviolent protest is a way to bring attention to our priorities and let our allies and opponents alike know that we are not backing down. That's why it is so important that we show up and support these efforts. Protesting and marching is not for everyone, but there are other ways to engage. You can make signs, you can publicize the events, you can call your elected officials. Okay, quick thing. How many of you have 5 calls on your phone? If you don't have 5 calls on your phone, the 5 calls app, I strongly urge you to get it on your app. When you pull up 5 calls, it will tell you, here are all the issues, and you click on an issue. Today I clicked on, I don't want Kash Patel to lead the FBI. And when you click on it, it will tell you all the details about why we don't want him. And then it'll say, call your representative. And you click on that, it sends you to your specific representative that can have anything to do with that. In this case, it was the 2 senators that, of course, voted for him. But I got to immediately be connected to their office. Be sure to press the 3rd option. The 3rd option is, I want to speak to somebody. Don't press leave a message. You will not be able to leave a message, more than likely. Press the 3rd option, I want to talk to somebody. Maybe you'll get to talk to somebody, and probably you'll leave a message, but at least at that point you can leave a message. So press the 3rd option on that, and it'll tell you in this app, like, here's a script of what you can say. You will give it impassionately because it really does say what you mean. And it will say, if you have to leave a message, be sure and leave your full address. It tells you everything, and it literally takes less time to do that call than it did for me to talk to you guys about it tonight. So, 5 calls. It's a 5, number 5 calls. Get it? Make a call every day. So that's something that you can definitely do that does empower you. I mean, just the act of saying that to your senator, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So we think that focusing on our local elections and issues is a good way to direct our energy. We have 2 municipal elections this spring, City Council and the School Board of Trustees. In City Council, there's a 3-way race for mayor. Did you guys know that there was 3? Anybody that knows that there's a mayor race going on, they know there's 3. Okay, good. And then in place 6, Mayor Pro Tem Arfin Shamsul has a challenger. So we'll be doing a forum, so you can hear from them soon. So stay tuned for more on that. That is always live streamed, and we're talking the possibility of it being in person this year too. So one way or the other. It's a great way to get to hear the issues and hear from your candidates for city council. Also, the RISD races, 2 of our trustees are on the ballot this year. Both of them are place specific, so you do have to live in their place to vote for them. Vanessa Pacheco is in District 2, and Rachel McGowan is in District 5, and they have done an excellent job of representing our ideals. We want to reelect them. So if you're in Vanessa's district, she's in the Richardson area. If you're in her district, I encourage you to get a sign, purchase a sign from her, because the signs do make a difference. The other side is going to come out with lots and lots of money, and they have lots and lots of signs, and they have lots of churches that are going to put those signs in their yards. So putting our signs out does encourage our Democrat voters that it makes a difference to actually vote. If you're not in her district, you can still block walk for her, donate to her. It's going to be a tough race. She's got an opponent that is smart and connected, and I take nothing away from that. But we do want Vanessa to continue the service that she's started, and so we need your support for Vanessa. I'd like to point out that about half of the people here tonight have got a pre-printed name tag. Half of the people do not. And what that means is that half of the people that are in this room are not donating members to RAD. I'm not shaming you, but I'm telling you that it makes a difference to be a member, a patron member of RAD. We do a lot with the money that we get from our donor members, and one of the things that we do is this. We can come and have a place to meet. These places are not inexpensive. These guys love us and they give us a good deal, but we still do need those donations. And it's not just for this, and buy some beer too, please. Not too much, because it's cold out. Who knows how you drive when it's cold? We do a lot more with. I'm sorry.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not that I do, but anyway. So if you have not joined or renewed your membership recently, there's the opportunity to do that. There's a QR code on the table, or you can go to rad.vote and click join RAD, and then you get to tell us how you want to volunteer too. And speaking of volunteer, we're going to have a volunteer fair. We have the La Casita Bake Shop is booked for us on March 8th. We are going to be offering anyone who wants to volunteer, wants to do something, the opportunity to plug in where it makes sense to you. There's lots and lots of opportunities, and we know that all of you are chomping at the bit to figure out how you can do something to make a difference. So please put that on your calendar. March 8th from 4 to 6 o'clock. We will be there at La Casita. And you'll probably get a thing in the mail or email to follow up with tonight. So sign up then, please. Now, we're going to get the evening started with a new monthly feature. Our friend Sandy Sweeney is going to tell you about that.
Thank you, Jenny. So I told Jenny that I would bring you guys opportunities to get involved in the community once a month. And in that vein, I'm about to be introducing our speaker for this month. But if you know of anybody that you can connect with me too, because I've got 3 months figured out, but I need more after that. So we're looking primarily for nonprofits in the area to come give you guys information about how you can get involved, how you can either volunteer, donate money, donate things, donate resources. So, Sandy Sweeney, Juliana Massey is with Donate to Impact, and she's going to tell us about her program.
Thank you. Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me. This is my first time and I didn't even know you guys existed, which is crazy, and I actually live 5 minutes away, so I will probably be coming back more often. But Sandy invited me tonight. I actually have worked with Sandy in the past. We still work together. I work for a company called Donate to Impact. I'm their director of marketing. Donate to Impact, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, but if you donate clothes, probably the place you want to go to. So what we do, we're technically a for-profit company, but we partner with a ton of local nonprofits. So what we do is we're a fundraising engine for local nonprofits. We turn textile donations into financial support for their organization. So what you normally do on maybe a monthly, quarterly basis, you can schedule an online pickup with us. It's free, and you can actually select the charity of your choice online of who you want to benefit. Normally when you donate, you put it in a bag, you take it to Goodwill, our biggest competitor, and you take it there, and you don't really know what happens to it afterwards. They make a lot of promises of what happens, but with us, you see a direct correlation that your donations are directly benefiting the nonprofit of your choice. So we have 6 main partners, which are Operation Kindness, Ronald McDonald House, Dallas, and Fort Worth, Christian Community Action, Child Care Group, Hope Supply Co., and then we work with about 250 to 300 other nonprofits in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So lots to choose from. And yeah, that's basically what we do. We work with Sandy with Rebuilding Together of North Texas. We do 2-week fundraisers for our nonprofits. So they do a 2-week fundraiser quarterly, and then they get a check in the mail every month, or the month after their fundraiser. And it's just an easy, free, super convenient way of donating. I don't know if you guys know this, but 80% of people do not donate their clothes, or they just kind of end up throwing them away or passing them down or whatever it may be. But our biggest thing is keeping these out of landfills. So we try and encourage people to schedule a pickup. 1, because it's free and all you have to do is put it at your front door. And 2 or 3, you're supporting a nonprofit of your choice. So if anybody knows a nonprofit that's looking for new ways to fundraise, where it's no liability to them, no work to them, and completely free of charge, definitely reach out to us. Our website is donate2impact.com. We were R2S DFW, Recycle to Support, so that might ring some bells for people. I hope so. But we rebranded about 3 years ago. So now we're Donate to Impact. We're on Instagram, Facebook. It's super easy to schedule. And yeah, so if anybody is part of a nonprofit or wants to donate, please reach out. And I can give Sandy some of my cards if anybody has any questions about anything. So yeah, thank you for having me.
I just want to say one other quick thing. Jenny asked me to post on our Facebook page after somebody presents like this. So I'll provide Juliana's information and Donate to Impact, and for the future ones too. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I love that. It gives us a little bit of another way to make a difference and to do something. Glenna or Lynn?
Yeah, so the way the whole business cycle works for us to be able to benefit nonprofits, we take their donations and we sell them in stores. We have a sister company, Thrift Giant, which I'm hoping some of you are aware of. We own all of those stores, and that's how we make that profit to be able to give back. So what's the name of this? Thrift Giant? Thrift Giant. Yes, yeah. So like last year we had, sorry, I'm kind of coming back up, but last year we had 2.4 we do recycle anything that's not sellable. We work with organizations. We try to keep everything as local as possible. But there are some things that end up becoming rags, so they get bundled up into rags and they're used in like oil fields and all of that. But we try and keep it all out of landfills. Any other questions? Nope. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Next, I want to introduce a longtime member of RAD who is heading up an effort, I think kind of accidentally, and thankfully he agreed to do it when I said, can you do this a little bit more purposefully? Seth Beal-Knight.
Yes, hey y'all, how are you? All right, I know you can do better than that. Let's hear it, come on. Yeah, talk to me like I'm the orange man up here. Good job. Okay, so I posted on the RAD Facebook page a couple of weeks ago about, liberal-owned or Democratic-owned businesses here in our city of Richardson. Well, it freaking flew off, and this is effing amazing. I don't know half of you, well over half of you, so if you don't know me, just come up and say hi. So, I posted this, and it just flew out the door. So, what I want to do is I'm going to pass around this piece of paper, and I want all of you to write down, if you know for sure that any business here in Richardson, if it's your business, a friend's business, whoever's business, if it is owned by a Democrat, we want to know. I'm going to call each and every one of them. I'm going to go by there, and I'm going to introduce myself, and I'm going to let them know what we're doing. Because I don't know about you, but I want to spend my money where businesses align with my morals. And I'm not going to, that's just the way it is. So if you know them, I would say, I think we want to start with here in Richardson. I think that we can, branch further out. I don't know. I know a couple of people live in Garland, like Reggie, and
We are Richardson area.
yeah. So feel free to write that down. And if you are unsure, don't put it down. Because I'm going to call them. And I'm a little bit blunt. So, yeah. I don't know. What else should I say?
We're going to make it
think
into
that-
a directory
Yeah, it's going to be a directory. So we
that
will
we
figure
can-
out a way
we
to
can access it.
publish it out to everyone. We can update it. So as businesses come and go, as we know about another business, we're going to add them to it. And that's where we can spend our money.
Good idea.
I mean, there's a possibility that someone that's not supportive gets this information and then,
F them.
well, what the damage they can do to the business too.
But he'll get consent from them to include him in the directory.
Yeah, we're going to get consent to include them in the directory. So, and
Well, as crazy as the other side is.
I totally get it, because I was actually approached by another person, another liberal group that I'm a member of on Facebook, and this person reached out to me through Messenger, and I have my own business, and he was like, hey, we'd love to connect, etc. Well, after looking him up, I was kind of like, And somebody made a comment on his thing. So please be careful with who you agree to meet with, because there are crazy people out there. And I mean, I fully believe what you're saying, that they would try to come into this group and pretend that they are someone that they're not, because they do have ill intentions. And unfortunately, that's the world that we live in today. So just be mindful, because I love all you guys. So that's it. So I'm going to pass this around. If you see me, I'm going to find you, because I want this back, okay? So write it down. Mark us with you. We're starting with you. All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Seth. So this month is Black History Month, in case you didn't know. Each day I've enjoyed reading about another influential or historically significant Black American from Diane Roberts. I asked her to come up tonight and tell us about someone she is particularly impressed with. So she agreed to do that, and I'm excited to have her come up. Come on up.
So each day this month, I've done a different Facebook post about someone who's doing great things in the community across the globe, who happens to be a Black American. I do want to say that I chose not to focus on too many ancestors. There's only one that I focused on. And I chose to focus on people who are doing things here and now. And one person in the Dallas community that I hope that everyone knows of is Marsha Jefferson. Marsha Jefferson lived next door to what ended up being a dump called Shingle Mountain. And it is through her efforts that she worked with Downwinders, who we actually happened to hear last year at a RAD meeting, to get Shingle Mountain moved. Now, what I will tell you, though, is that working through Downwinders, I learned that while the city did move Shingle Mountain, they simply moved it. It is still in a part of Dallas and West Dallas where, it's a poorer neighborhood. People have less land. They don't have all the rights. They would never move it here in Richardson. So there's still a fight going on to get that destroyed. But I thought it was really important to feature her so that Dallasites could know who she is. I've chosen to feature people through all walks of life, through corporate America. Robin Washington, who's the new Chief Operating Officer and Financial Officer for Salesforce.com. She's also the founder of Black Women on Board. The one ancestor that I did choose to feature is Sister Thea Bowman. She is one of the 6 Black Catholics who are currently up for sainthood. Just so that you know, there has never been a Black American nominated for sainthood in the Catholic Church. And it is controlled by the cardinals and archbishops in your respective country. So there are all kinds of people. If you're my friend on Facebook, you see the posts every day. I've enjoyed doing it. I get up every morning and I go, okay, who am I going to feature today? And it's been a wonderful thing, and so many people have gotten joy out of it. So thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
I have a big announcement. After 4 years, I believe it's 4 years, we are happy to report that much work and perseverance on the part of a few good people, the NAACP Richardson unit is official. We have talked about this every year, and the dream is finally becoming a reality. And Terry Allen is here to tell you about what's coming up.
All right, clap if you're enjoying this nice heat wave we got. Hey guys, I stand before you with a message of resilience, celebration, and a message of legacy. For me, my family's been in this area since 1902. I sometimes have gotten tickets on streets named after a relative. And my mother will never let me forget. But I am here to say to you that despite the delays and the challenges we have, this is a perfect time for us to do the inaugural action of the NAACP Richardson unit. We're looking at rollbacks, is what I call it, rollbacks, and we're looking at everybody's focusing on national offices. But I want to send this message out to you right now. All politics are local. Amen. Period. Whatever you see happening in the mid-Atlantic came from a local space. And RAD has done some fantastic jobs in turning out the vote, getting our candidates to represent themselves. I write for 2 newspapers, and I've been working with our Jasmine Carkett here, and also I just want to say that we are a publishing entity, so whoever wants to, we'll publish that directory for you that he was talking about, because we need to know where our money goes. The smarter we buy. I just got back from speaking about a boycott on certain retailers and telling people how to do that. So our dollars can speak a lot for us. So I celebrate the establishment of the unit. I celebrate the steps we're about to go into that'll change our human rights, our civil rights, our economic power, and anything that's rolling back the freedoms that we have. If any of you have a grandfather, a grandmother, or a great uncle, you know what it was like for them to vote and why. You saw the results of those votes the next day. It is time for us to get in the game with the NAACP Richardson unit and make that happen. So we have received the appropriate nominations so that we can go ahead and establish that and start spending our time and money in the Richardson area. We need 2 more nominations. We need to make sure that some of you in here, I recognize all you members that are here already, so as a matter of fact, give RAD a round of applause for making this happen. 52% of our membership is from RAD. So y'all make this happen. But we want you to step up and nominate yourselves. There are a few other organizers here, Marcus Warren, Jermaine White, and a couple other people here who were the organizers to make this happen.
What are the offices that need nominations?
Okay, the Office of What's Happening Now. No, just kidding. Secretary and Treasurer. And we have offices, nominations for President, Second and First Vice President, Secretary and Treasurer. But there are hundreds of roles there. But we need to put those on the books so that we can open up and get started. We've already had hundreds of emails saying, I want to be on the Political Action Committee. I want to be on the Economic Development Committee. I want to be on the Business Committee. I'm with you all the way. But we have to get those primary roles nominated and submitted. We want to try to submit them by tomorrow. So let us know. And it is a sense of pride, a sense of strength as a Richardson citizen, Richardson resident, and a citizen of Texas, and a person whose grandmother I read about every month. If you haven't heard what I say, the column is called Big Mama Said. Yeah, that's what we call our grandmother. Big Mama. Big Mama said, pour into those that pour into you. And you heard him talk about it directly where we shop our own Democrats. You heard him talk about highlight nonprofits where we can make money for those nonprofits. And I have a nonprofit, and so that nonprofit allows grassroots nonprofits to get money because they don't have a Red Cross image. So the NAACP is here to help move that needle. Collaboration is key. And if we want to see things that are being rolled back in, we have to gather hands and join up. So I'm glad that my good friend has allowed me to come here and talk to you guys. And I recognize all of you by your email addresses. And I've been seeing a lot of emails in the past 3 days, but let's get this rolling. Thank you. Any questions? And thank you, Jenny.
So this is a long time coming, and we are very excited to have y'all here tonight. And like you said, I mean, it couldn't be a more appropriate time than, Black History Month for the NAACP to finally have its place in Richardson. So we're ready for it.
I just want to add one thing, and that's for all the organizers here who collected the funds. Like I used to go to church, I'll go to the RAD meeting and say, what happened to the NAACP unit? Where's my money? So I want y'all to know how many divisive arguments I've had with the National Office to make sure that they explain what the delay was about whenever we get ratified and started. Because I don't like walking into a meeting or a bit, especially in the mayor's office last week. What happened? I said, I'm going to let them tell you. We're now going to move forward. We're going to kick some butt.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for persevering. I just got a little message saying to remind you, and I think it's a good time to do this, that there is an economic protest scheduled for February 28th, in case you have not heard of that, or if you think that it wouldn't make a difference, please, sorry y'all, might as well close down that day. We're saying don't buy anything that is not absolutely essential. Gas, food, whatever. Economic, that might be essential. I'm not gonna, buy it the day before. Buy it the day before, and let's show them that we do have some power, economic power. So that's an economic protest on February 28th, week from tomorrow. Yeah, there'll be a lot of different ones going in. Yeah, specific dates for. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, without further ado, we will introduce our featured speaker this evening. I want to tell you just a little bit about him. Pastor David Wilson is the founder and pastor of Greater Cornerstone Baptist Church in the Hamilton Park area. And I want you guys to know, I met him through Jermaine back there. She's going to raise her hand. My dear friend Jermaine told me 4 years ago, almost 5 now, that I should have Pastor Wilson come and talk to us when we did our George Floyd protest march. And Pastor Wilson came and talked to us at that rally. And I have to tell you, at that time I thought to myself, that's a person I need to keep in touch with because he feeds my soul. And somehow life goes by, and I thought, I need to ask Pastor Wilson to come tonight and talk. It's been too long. So he is a sought-after speaker on a national level, and we are very privileged and honored to have him here tonight to talk to us about how we deal with this time. So, Pastor Wilson, come on up.
Well, I guess my sainthood just went out the door because I'm here in a tavern.
All kinds of saints.
But I guess it's all right if Jesus could turn water into wine. And in light of the fact that we all stand on level ground, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I could not understand and put it together, even sit in my office today, and I don't know how many notes I threw away trying to put my thoughts together for tonight. But I'm reminded my grandfather in the evenings, 5 o'clock, if I was watching cartoons or something when I was a little boy, he used to come in and say, "Hey boy, turn that station to the news so I can see what the Japs were doing." Not being racist, but he was a war veteran. And he wanted to know what was on the news to ensure that war wasn't breaking out. Well, I don't say what he said. Now when I come in the evening, I say, can we turn the news on so I can see what Trump is doing? And the truth of the matter is, we all know, in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, that we've got some difficult days ahead. Amen. And I try to put my mind around it because growing up, we didn't have a daycare center. My great-grandmother, who was first generation in her family out of slavery, used to tell us the struggles that she had and my grandfather in this country called America. Yeah. And she impressed upon us that we couldn't just live here, but we had to be committed to making a difference. She shared with us how my grandfather, for my great-grandfather, for reporting on how black soldiers were being treated in World War II, that he was approached by a group of individuals in caps. They didn't say "Make America Great," but they had the same meaning. And they told them that by midnight, he better be out of town. And that night, he and my great-grandmother, loaded their printing press on a train and went to Wichita, Kansas, where I grew up. And growing up in Wichita, Kansas, in the black church, we were always challenged to be a part of the process. We were challenged to be a part of the process because when I look back, the movement of the civil rights was fueled through the black church. It wasn't just black people, but the movement was organized, the movement was prayed for, the movement was strengthened through the efforts of the black church. And growing up in the black church, in the black community, I was very much a part and very much aware of what was going on. I can remember as far back as elementary school, we were reminded of Brown versus the Board of Education. I remember probably knowing more about that than I did about my ABCs at the time. But it was important that we knew where we've come from in this country so that we would be better able to make plans and chart a course for where we're going. And I'm asking myself now, how did we get here? How did we get here? Because in my lifetime, in my generation, they passed the voters' rights. They passed equal pay. They passed civil rights acts for allowing us to stay in hotels, allowing us the privilege to go in retail stores, abolishing backdoor entry. I even remember as a kid when we went to the movies, we had to sit in the balcony. And so from my own experience, I'm still trying to figure out how we got here when so much blood and sweat has been sacrificed for us to be here. And what I came to the conclusion, and I ain't gonna be long, because if I stay too long, I might preach. And Lord have mercy, I don't want to be guilty of hooping in the saloon. But listen, I believe that we got too comfortable and we got too complacent. We hadn't fought for anything, and because everything was all right at our house, we forgot to think about other folks' house. Huh? And as a result, we went to sleep not thinking that things would turn out the way they are. And I'm going to tell you what happened in our community, just so you know. Our community pretty much is a little disenchanted with the Democratic Party. We feel like the Democratic Party let us down because the Democratic Party pushed an agenda that didn't have anything to do with us having jobs, with us having opportunities, without us having a fair playing ground to live in this thing called life. They pushed an agenda that left us out. And as a result, they didn't even include us. Typically when there is elections, they attempt to enlist church support. They wouldn't even talk to us. They wouldn't even return phone calls. And we feel like the Democratic Party has let us down. But this is what I'm going to say. Before we give ourselves to supporting candidates of a party We need to see what their position is for people. We have become too committed to the politics and have forgot about the people that the politics are supposed to serve. We got too many politicians that duped us for our votes that you can't even get a meeting with them. Their agendas have nothing to do with bettering our society, bettering our community. Their agendas have everything to do with their political climbs. And we do know it ought to break your heart when you see on national television individuals celebrating with a chainsaw, putting people out of work. What are we trying to do? Make this country a third world country? But there is hope. I told our people at Greater Cornerstone, we need to thank God for Donald Trump. We need to thank God for Donald Trump because Donald Trump has showed us that divided, we ain't gonna accomplish nothing. But because of his twisted agenda, we're gonna come together. Huh? Because of his cutbacks, we are going to come together. Because of his agenda to promote the haves and squash the have-nots, we gonna come together. And I hear something from this book that I live by that says, if my people, which are called by my name, if they will humble themselves, seek my face, pray, and turn from their wicked ways, I'll heal the land. You know, this Republican agenda shows us how sick our land is. And the joy is, if God be for us, he's more than Trump, Elon Musk, Hot Wheels in Austin against us. And we can rejoice because greater is he that is in us than is in the White House. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You have to follow that.
So this afternoon I was, okay. So this afternoon I was in I sat into a Indivisible meeting. Are y'all following Invisible? They're doing some really powerful work. Leah and Ezra are the kind of heads of that place, and they had a little thing they wrote for The Nation magazine, or I think it's a magazine. This thing that they wrote, our predecessors deposed a brain-addled king. They crushed the violent insurrectionists of a slaveholding confederacy. They forced the robber barons to contend with workers and unions. They kicked the Nazis' asses through throughout Europe. They broke the back of the Southern segregationalist political bloc. They fought back the terrorizing forces at Stonewall. We have planted ourselves in stubborn opposition to monomaniacal fascists of one form or another for a quarter of a millennium. No entitled reality TV has been No reality TV has been backed by an addle-brained billionaire who cheats at video games is going to roll over us now. To put a little exclamation point on what you had to say, we are more than them. We may not have that kind of money, but when it all comes down to it, it actually is one vote. And when we get out, when we get ourselves together, and when we start putting our feet on the ground and doing what it takes, we're going to make a difference. So that is what I want to talk to you about tonight. I also want to make sure that the other thing I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to give a shout out to my board. The board of directors, most of them are here tonight. And I want you to know who they are. Pat Griffin, where are you? Pat Griffin? She's the one who greets you when you come in or makes sure that there's somebody here to greet you. She is our secretary, and she also is our kind of person that keeps us on knowing what's going on at City Council. So thank you, Pat Griffin. She's been with us since the start. Preston Osborne is our vice president. He's right over here. Preston does our technology and puts our website together. He does our database and could use some help in case anybody's interested. We are very lucky to have Preston with us on our board. Thank you. Frank Cooney. Where's Frank? Frank is over here. Frank Cooney is our OG. He was here before we even knew what about democracy. He was the Richardson Democrats way before any of us. So he works with the elections department and does keep us kind of on the straight and narrow with what's going on with elections and coordinating all of that with them. Pam Thompson is on our board. Pam Thompson was our second president, and due to medical things, health things, she stepped away for a little bit, but she is back on our board as of last month, and we're very proud to have her back. She is a force. She's going to be working on Legislative Action Committee and needs plenty of help because there's a whole lot of stuff going on, both on a local level. We want to know what's going on with our city council, with our city. We want to know what's going on in our state and be able to respond there. And we also have the national stuff to contend with. So we've got five calls for that. Did y'all get that 5 calls app? You've already downloaded it now that I told you, right? Okay, all right. If you didn't, I'm expecting that to happen before you leave here. I want to give honorable mention to a few people that are here tonight. Angela Kaiser is back here. She was on our board for a few years, and she helped us a lot, and she always hangs around and keeps us going with t-shirt sales and stuff like that. By the way, please buy a t-shirt. And Diane Roberts, who spoke to us earlier. Oh, she's back here. Diane Roberts helped us get our data situated and is going to continue to help us with that. Thank you very much, Diane. And finally, last but not least, Mari Long is here tonight. And I want y'all to know that she was like one of our original board members. Mari is everywhere all the time. She is doing work for us all the time. You can't even imagine how many places she is and does all the things. She's like a true Democrat. And it is her birthday. And she's just getting younger and more beautiful all the time. So, 33. I want you, before we take off, I want to just say one more time that we have a volunteer fair coming up on the 8th of March. I want to see everybody showing up to find out where you can get plugged in, because I am serious. I was telling my friend Carla, who I haven't seen in forever, but no, I'm not calling you out that I have. No, I'm happy you're here. That, like, I truly stay at a pace of just doing all the time, so that I don't spin down into just scrolling and doom scrolling. And it is there's a lot. But there is a lot to do, and there are things that we can do, and as long as you keep in that space, and I don't care whether it's the PTA, right? I mean, it keeps you going, right, Joey? Whether it's the HOA or the nonprofits that you do, the things that you do that make a difference in the world do keep you going and keep you from despair. So please find a way to jump up out of that space of despair and do something. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you on YouTube that are here tonight. Thank you for doing the YouTube tonight, Preston. And we are here every third Thursday. This is our place. Speaking of one of the liberal businesses in Richardson, can we give them, give them some love. Give them some love. So thank you all for coming out tonight. Hang out. We don't have to rush off, but thank you for coming. Thank you to the new people that are here tonight. It's good to see you, and I hope you'll all be back.
Facebook a little bit, but yes, so I'm really glad to be here.